Imagine visiting a place where you stand out not for your personality or actions but simply because of the color of your skin, where curious stares follow your every move, monkey noises are made in your presence, and people consciously shift away, refusing to sit close to you. Such disheartening experiences persist in several countries around the world, where racial discrimination is not just a problem, but an alarming reality. In these nations, racial equity is at its lowest, leaving individuals to bear the burden of prejudice and inequality. Welcome to part 2 of the 10 racist countries you never want to visit. This video will take you on a journey to explore these troubling regions, shedding light on the harsh realities of racial disparities and the urgent need for change. Also, as a way of supporting our efforts, hit the like button on the video, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Your support means a lot to us. Number 10. Germany. Germany, often celebrated for its rich history, technological prowess, and progressive values, is not immune to the insidious presence of racial discrimination. While it has made significant strides in addressing the scars of its past, racial equity remains a pressing concern in the heart of Europe. Despite being a multicultural and diverse society, incidents of racial bias are far from uncommon in Germany. For Black people simply going about their daily lives, it can be an exhausting ordeal. Stares and whispers follow them, and discriminatory comments and actions persist. The experience of being singled out or subjected to microaggressions is disheartening, and reflects a deep-seated issue that the country continues to grapple with. Germany's history, marked by its role in the Holocaust and the subsequent efforts at reconciliation, makes its racial tensions all the more complex. The nation's commitment to confronting its past and advocating for tolerance is commendable, but it does not negate the challenges that many face today. One glaring issue is the racial profiling of people of color, often by law enforcement. This practice not only perpetuates stereotypes but also undermines the trust between minority communities and the authorities who are meant to protect them. Racial disparities are also evident in the educational and employment sectors, where opportunities are not always distributed equitably. Also, the rise of far-right and xenophobic movements in recent years has exacerbated the climate of racial tension. Hate crimes and racially motivated incidents have surged, highlighting the fact that Germany's journey toward racial equity is far from complete. In 2023, a new study on racism against Black people in 13 EU countries found that race-based discrimination is most rife in Germany. The data showed that 76% of respondents in Germany said they were discriminated against in the past 5 years because of their skin color, origin, or religion, according to the report published Wednesday by the Vienna-based EU Agency for Fundamental Rights. The survey also asked respondents whether they had felt racially discriminated against in the past 5 years. Again, Germany led the way, with a whopping 76% of respondents saying they had experienced racial discrimination in the past 5 years. If you're planning on going to Germany, you might want to brace yourself for the racist behaviors that come with being Black in a country with a history of colonialism. Number 9. Austria. Nestled in the heart of Europe, Austria is renowned for its picturesque landscapes, historic cities, and cultural treasures. However, beneath this charming facade lies a nation grappling with deep-rooted issues of racial discrimination and inequity. For Black individuals residing in or visiting Austria, the experience can often be marred by unwelcome stares, racial slurs, and the feeling of being an outsider. Despite being a diverse and multicultural society, there are disturbing instances where the color of one's skin becomes a defining factor in how they are treated. The experience of feeling isolated and subjected to microaggressions is not uncommon in Austria. Many individuals, particularly Black people, find themselves unfairly judged or singled out, casting a shadow over their daily lives. One of the major challenges lies in Austria's historical and cultural identity. The country's imperial past, with strong connections to the Habsburg Empire, has shaped its cultural landscape. However, this heritage is often narrowly defined and has created a certain level of insularity. This can lead to a lack of understanding and empathy toward individuals from diverse backgrounds. In Austria, as in other countries, racial disparities are evident in various aspects of life. Employment opportunities, educational attainment, and access to healthcare can vary significantly based on one's ethnicity or nationality. This raises important questions about Austria's commitment to true racial equity and the need for reforms to address these disparities. Moreover, the rise of far-right political movements and nationalist ideologies in Austria has stoked racial tensions and contributed to a climate of intolerance. Hate crimes and racially motivated incidents have surged, underscoring the urgency of addressing these issues. Even a 2023 study shows the depth of racism in the country. The study, which was published by the Vienna-based EU Agency for Fundamental Rights, surveyed 13 EU countries, and showed that 76% of respondents in Austria said they were discriminated against in the past 5 years because of their skin color, origin, or religion. In terms of discrimination by the police, Austria had 53% of the men and 24% of the women surveyed say they had been stopped by police in the 5 years prior to the survey. According to the survey, Black people across the 13 countries felt nowhere as strongly discriminated against as when looking for work in Austria. This was reported by 59% of respondents. Number 8, Paraguay. Deep in the heart of South America, Paraguay boasts stunning natural beauty, a vibrant culture, and a rich historical tapestry. However, behind this picturesque facade lies a nation quietly grappling with issues of racial inequity and discrimination. In Paraguay, the struggle for racial equity remains largely hidden from international scrutiny. The country is home to a rich blend of indigenous, mestizo, and European populations. Yet disparities rooted in racial and ethnic backgrounds continue to affect the lives of many Paraguayans. Visitors and residents who do not conform to the dominant European standard may find themselves subject to microaggressions, biased treatment, and exclusion. The color of one's skin often dictates how they are perceived and the opportunities they are afforded. Indigenous and Afro-Paraguayan communities in particular have long been marginalized and continue to face significant obstacles in their pursuit of a better life. Paraguay's historical and cultural context plays a crucial role in understanding these disparities. The legacy of colonialism and land dispossession has left a lasting impact on the indigenous population. Discrimination and economic hardships persist in these communities, hindering their access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Moreover, the social and economic disparities among different racial and ethnic groups in Paraguay are exacerbated by the lack of comprehensive data and official recognition of these issues. Many Paraguayans are unaware of the extent of racial inequity, and it remains a topic seldom discussed in public discourse. While there are efforts by activists and organizations to address these disparities, the road to racial equity in Paraguay is long and winding. Discrimination against Black people continues unabated in Paraguay, in the absence of a law penalizing it. Even famous individuals like Paraguay's main Afro-Paraguayan dancer, Barbara Medina, reportedly suffered so much racism at her school in Asunción that she would get angry when her mother would say she was Black, like the rest of her family. She spent her teenage years hiding away, affected by the racist comments directed at her. There are also many more testimonies documented by the I Do Not Discriminate campaign led by Amnesty International in Paraguay to promote the approval of a law against all forms of discrimination. Paraguay is a country of fishing, golf, and other sports, allowing tourists to enjoy 5 internationally recognized and regulated golf courses, as well as fishing rivers. However, all these attractions mean nothing if you're not treated with respect and love, just because of the color of your skin. Number 7, Iceland. Iceland, with its breathtaking natural landscapes and progressive reputation, might seem like a tranquil haven untouched by the complexities of racial discrimination. However, beneath its serene exterior, the island nation is quietly resentful of Black tourists. For Black individuals residing in or visiting Iceland, the experience can be marked by moments of being seen as different, perhaps even exotic, which can sometimes lead to subtle prejudices. The island's predominantly homogeneous population, while welcoming, can inadvertently create an environment where racial disparities are less visible but nonetheless present. Iceland's historical and cultural context further shapes its approach to racial issues. The country's isolation and relatively small immigrant population have resulted in less exposure to the complexities of diversity. This, in turn, can lead to a lack of understanding and awareness about the unique challenges faced by people from various ethnic backgrounds in Iceland. Instances of racial discrimination are still relatively isolated, But the country is not exempt from addressing the disparities that exist. Immigrants and black individuals may encounter challenges in education, employment, and social integration, reflecting the need for more inclusive policies and public awareness. In 2010, the Social Science Research Institute at the University of Iceland conducted a study regarding the depiction of Polish immigrants in Icelandic media. The study reported that Icelandic media discourse has created a stereotype of foreigners as threatening, usually Eastern European men connected to organized crime, defilement, and fighting. Additionally, a 1922 Icelandic version of the song was titled and featured racist caricatures of black people. The 2007 republishing of the song by the Icelandic publisher Sogur caused controversy and debate in Iceland. While some Icelandic people believed the song was part of funny and silly stories created in the past, others viewed it as exhibiting racism and colonial nostalgia. To combat racism in the country, African Americans living in Iceland have organized an Icelandic wing of the global Black Lives Matter movement. Demonstrations were held in Reykjavik and Ísafjörður. If you plan to visit Iceland, you might want to prepare for the blatant racism that exists in the country. Number 6. Finland. Racism doesn't come readily to mind when you think of Finland. For 6 straight years, Finland topped the World Happiness Report, issued by the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. However, racism, though rarely discussed, has long been a fact of life in the country. A 2018 EU survey of minority views in 12 EU nations found that Finland ranked first for racial discrimination, racist threats, and violent attacks. According to a report from Iltalehti, an incident of racism and police brutality occurred on the evening of July 4, 2020, at the Central Railway Station of Helsinki Metro. The incident centered on 2 youths, one white male and one black male, who were apprehended together for not having a valid ticket. According to eyewitness accounts and unverified footage circulating on social media, the white youth was calmly spoken to by the police before being allowed to leave. However, the black teenager was thrown down onto the floor by security staff and placed in handcuffs. One security staff member was seen pressing his knee down on the teenager's neck, at which point the victim could be heard yelling, "I can't breathe," in English, an echo of the George Floyd case in the United States. Finland's historical and cultural context also plays a role in shaping its approach to racial issues. The nation's history of being a relatively isolated and homogeneous society has led to limited exposure to the complexities of diversity. This can sometimes result in a lack of awareness about the unique challenges faced by people from various ethnic backgrounds. If you're planning a trip to Finland for views of the Northern Lights, the Åland Archipelago, or Levi, you might want to reconsider your options or be prepared to face the racism that comes with being in the country. Number 5. Romania. Romania, a nation known for its rich history, captivating landscapes, and diverse cultural heritage, is a place where racial disparities often remain hidden from the global spotlight. Although this Eastern European country has made remarkable strides in recent years, the journey toward true racial equity continues, often concealed beneath the surface. For black people living in Romania, the experience can be a mix of inclusion and occasional challenges. Like many Eastern European nations, Romania has a history of limited exposure to diversity, which can result in a lack of understanding and awareness of the issues faced by people from various ethnic backgrounds. Racial discrimination in Romania often takes more subtle forms, such as stereotyping, exclusion, or microaggressions. These subtle forms of prejudice can be equally damaging, affecting opportunities for education, employment, and social integration. A blatant case of racism that revealed how Romania views black people and individuals from Africa occurred in 2023. Romania recalled its ambassador, Dragos Tigau, from his post in Kenya after the diplomat made a comment equating Africans to monkeys at a meeting in Nairobi. The incident took place at a UN building in the Kenyan capital on April 2, 2023. Tigau reportedly said, "The African group has joined us," after a black monkey appeared at the window of the conference room ahead of a meeting. The Romanian Foreign Ministry in Bucharest responded by stating that any racist behavior or comments are absolutely unacceptable. They expressed deep regret for the situation, apologized to those affected, and strongly rejected and condemned any behavior incompatible with mutual respect. However, the larger issue of racism in Romania and the general disregard some Romanians have for black people remains unresolved. Number 4. Belgium. Belgium, a nation celebrated for its cultural richness, historical significance, and delicious chocolates, is also a place where racial disparities continue to challenge the ideal of a truly equitable society. In the heart of Western Europe, the struggle for racial equity remains a persistent and evolving journey. According to a new study, Belgium remains a society marked by racism, despite a decrease in the number of reported racist incidents from 2021 to 2022. The most recent annual report by UNIA, an independent public anti-discrimination organization, recorded 7,310 allegations of discriminatory behavior in 2022. Of these, 1,887 cases, or 25.8%, led to formal investigations by the Belgian authorities. Racist abuse based implicitly or explicitly on one's national or ethnic origin was the most commonly reported type of discriminatory behavior, leading to 735 cases being opened last year. The issue of racism in Belgium can be traced back to its history, particularly during the reign of King Leopold II, when Africans were exploited for the country's gain. Belgium's colonial legacy, especially with the Congo, has left deep scars, impacting the lives of many Afro-Belgians. The country's relatively high immigrant population, which includes communities of North African and Turkish descent, faces unique challenges in areas such as access to education, employment, and social integration. Racial tensions have at times flared, raising awareness of these issues. Hate crimes and racially motivated incidents, as in many European nations, remain a concern in Belgium. If you're planning a trip to Belgium to visit the picturesque towns of Bruges, Ghent, and Antwerp, you might want to keep in mind the racial tensions that still persist in the country. Number 3. Bulgaria. Nestled in southeastern Europe, Bulgaria is a nation known for its rich history, diverse culture, and picturesque landscapes. However, beneath its tranquil exterior, the country grapples with the complex issue of racial equity, a challenge that has persisted over the years. In October 2018, a study by the Pew Research Center revealed that many Bulgarians believe their culture is superior to others, and such attitudes are reflected in the nation's politics, with politicians themselves not shy about using discriminatory language. Three populist and extreme right parties, IMRO, Ataka, and NFSB, have been in coalition with the center-right GERB since 2017, and have been described by leaders of ethnic and religious minorities as pro-Nazi. Bulgarians are not shy about showing how racist they can be in their country. One notorious example occurred during a football match against England, which Bulgaria lost by 6 goals. With black English players leading the charge, Bulgarian fans chose to vent their frustration by displaying racist behavior. Monkey noises, Nazi salutes, fascist symbols, and open defiance of UEFA punishments were some of the acts performed by Bulgarian fans. The monkey chants and Nazi salutes from black-clad Bulgarian fans shocked many who watched the match, but they weren't entirely surprising. For years, Bulgarian football and the country at large have been plagued by racism. In 2011, the Bulgarian Football Union, BFU, was fined after England players Ashley Young, Ashley Cole, and Theo Walcott were subjected to racist abuse from fans during a European Championship qualifier. On April 20, 2013, during a match, fans of Levski Sofia unveiled a banner wishing Adolf Hitler a happy birthday. The club was fined after photos from the Bulgarian Cup final showed a child making a Nazi salute alongside another with a swastika drawn on his chest. For black individuals, traveling to Bulgaria can be a mixed experience involving both inclusion and occasional discrimination. Racial discrimination in Bulgaria often manifests in subtle ways, affecting opportunities for education, employment, and social integration. Minority communities, including Roma and ethnic Turks, face unique challenges, with disparities in access to healthcare, housing, and economic opportunities. Overall, Bulgaria may not be the best destination for black people seeking a relaxing vacation. Number 2, Costa Rica. When you think of Costa Rica, you might picture lush rainforests, pristine beaches, and progressive environmental policies. This country embodies natural beauty and a commitment to sustainability. However, beneath its picturesque landscapes, Costa Rica is engaged in an ongoing quest for racial equity, a challenge that remains a work in progress. The Afro-Costa Rican population in particular has faced unique challenges and systemic inequalities. While the nation has made strides in recognizing and addressing racial disparities, there is still much to be done to ensure true equity for all its citizens. A study on hate speech and discrimination conducted by the UN in Costa Rica found that certain groups have been disproportionately affected by an increase in hate speech over recent years. Stigmatization and discriminatory narratives have started to surface on social media and beyond, creating a toxic atmosphere in the country. Hate speech and discrimination in Costa Rica grew by 71%. A new investigation, conducted from 2021 to 2022 by the UN in Costa Rica alongside the Digital Communication Observatory at the University of Costa Rica and COSOS, a data analysis company, used AI-based social media listening tools like Metrics and Sprout Social. The analysis identified over 937,000 conversations that contained hate or discriminatory speech from profiles and public pages on Facebook and Twitter. The study showed that 77% of the messages had a direct intent to offend, attack, or violate other groups, representing an 8% increase from the previous period. The highest volume of conversations occurred when the media published stories about Afro-descendants. People often associated crime with the province of Lyman and Afro-descendants, reinforcing negative stereotypes. These statistics show that the Costa Rican population harbors significant biases against black people, perceiving them as more prone to crime and a potential problem if allowed to remain. Visiting this country might mean dealing with constant police stops, suspicious stares, and spending your entire vacation looking over your shoulder. Number 1. Cambodia. Nestled in Southeast Asia, Cambodia is renowned for its ancient temples, vibrant culture, and the resilience of its people. However, the beauty ends on the surface. For black people visiting Cambodia, the experience can be marked by a blend of cultural fascination and, at times, a sense of exclusion. The country's unique mix of indigenous Khmer people, Chinese, Vietnamese, and other minority groups offers a rich cultural tapestry, but it also presents its own set of challenges. Cambodia's historical and cultural context is key to understanding the complexity of racial issues in the country. The scars of the Khmer Rouge regime still run deep, and the atrocities committed during that time continue to shape the nation's social fabric. Ethnic and religious minorities have faced discrimination and inequality, with disparities evident in areas like education, healthcare, and political representation. Cambodia's journey toward racial equity is complicated by its history, so black visitors should not expect the best treatment when visiting. The country's past and present continue to create an environment where racism is often an unspoken but ever-present issue. This brings us to the end of the video. Tell us what you think in the comment section. We are always interested in your thoughts. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share our content to let more people know the truth about racism and hear their own part of the narrative. Thanks for watching.